boat was lifting up about a metre and a half and then slamming us against the wall.
We have been kind of busy last few hours. Why, you would ask? I will tell you. So see, this is very smooth, flat water. No wind at all. The bay was full with boats. Most of them have been escaping to the new marina over there because there's a storm. They even call it a hurricane coming. So we have been busy to make this boat storm ready. Some weather forecasts say maximum 13 knots of wind into the bay from that side. But more and more weather forecasts say it is going to be a lot more. So just to be sure, somebody told us you better prepare for the worst and you're always safe. Whether you'll be safe then is of course a question. Not sure about that. But at least then we did everything we could to prevent a disaster with this boat. So what have we been doing? We wrapped the sails with ropes just to be sure nothing is starting to flap. What else did we do? We put some extra lines to the shore and also 2 anchors. So we put the main anchor, Mentos 20 kilos, which is a little oversized for this boat, into the dinghy with a lot of chain. And we just brought it as far as possible over there. Then we did a second anchor. That's a Denford, an aluminium Denford, which is not that heavy, but just as an extra. So we put 30 meters of rope and 10 meters of thick chain and the Denford anchor in the dinghy and brought it somewhere over there. We keep it like this because there's fishing boats coming and we don't want them to get caught in the rope. So we wait a little with that. Then we also secured the solar panels in hopes it will stay there, and the dinghy, this can't move anymore. Then we also removed all hatch covers just not to be blown away. So we use the anchors to keep the boat free from the boulevard. So if we only get the 13 knots of wind, well, it was a lot of work for nothing. But better safe than sorry, right? Next morning, it was kind of no wind yesterday evening. So what we did was pulling the anchor, rope and chain as far as possible. So now we are at approximately 1.5 meters from the boulevard, which is nice. And we hope that it will stay at least a little bit off the walls. We'll see whether we still have a boat within about 24 hours. And if not, we'll find something else, I guess. God is in charge. By the way, I'm curious what those other boats are going to do. Those are on anchor. There's a few over here, and over there there's a new and already dilapidated marina. If the weather forecasts are okay, the wind will start to blow from that side. So we are a little bit behind those buildings, which is good. And then it turns towards that side. Well, it looks like the storm has changed its course a little bit, and tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock we should be in the eye of the storm. Doesn't look good. Dat is een vastmat.
Ja, we moeten nooit aan de kant, man. De kabel is inmiddels leeg. Die ouders gaan toch weg.
Ja?
Ja. Nou, nu nog helemaal aan de kant zien te komen. Ze blij zijn als we er zijn. Nou, hier ligt dus de hele baai vol. Met hele lange ankerkettingen. En wij durven het niet omdat onze motor heel slecht is.
Ze zijn echt niet wijs daar. Die zijn allemaal een beetje op elkaar liggen.
Ja, als ze één gaat, dan gaan ze allemaal
Ja,
weg.
nu hebben ze een mooi plekje, maar als de wind gaat draaien,
Ja.
dan
cirkelen.
ja, en de een heeft een langere ankerketting uit dan de andere.
Ja. Ja, alles is gevaarlijk en je weet gewoon niet waar je bij zit.
Nee. Opzouten, dat is misschien het wijst.
Ja, kijk, de kabel is nu leeg en die lag gisteren helemaal vol. Wat zei je?
Ik vind het helemaal niks, maar...
Nee, maar ik heb veto, dus...
Ja, dat is het. Dat is zo. Als jij niet ziet zitten, doen we het. Gaan we.
Oké.
En het is klaar. Geen discussie, dat doen we gewoon.
Ja, nou daar ben ik erg blij mee.
Because you're worth it. We moeten die bananen opmaken, anders leggen ze niet te rotten.
Ja, de kastjes heb ik vastgezet, het koffiezetapparaat heb ik vastgezet.
Dat is wel gevaarlijk, want je blijft er echt in hangen.
Nou joh, hop, gaan we opschieten.
Nee, ik moet even rustig denken.
En voor mij hebben we alle spullen nu.
Nou, dat lijkt het dicht.
Ja, nee, alles is dicht.
Nou,
Ja, en nu is er eigenlijk nog niks aan de hand, hè?
20 knopen wind, hoogstens.
Ja,
Gaan we oplopen tot over de 60.
ja. Maar je hebt de sleutels, hè?
Ja.
We hopen dat we die ooit nog nodig hebben. Wel echt,
Stel dat die boot vergaat, dan moeten we het nieuws verzinnen. Nou, doen we niet iets waar we zoveel voor hoeven te werken hoor.
Nee, dat stoppen we mee.
No work, no more. Fiets of zo, fietsreis.
Tiny house.
Tiny, ja, dat is niet reizen. Nee, ik zat te denken aan een stekkerdoosje.
Nou, dit lijkt me nou niet het belangrijkste. Wat hebben jullie gered van de boot? Een stekkerdoosje.
Gaat niet over de red van de boot. Gaat omdat je je spullen erop laat. En dan moet er altijd te weinig stopcontact. Always, ever. Voor mij hebben we alles.
Ja, voor mij ook. Nou, dit is dus nu ons hele bezit.
Ja.
Ja.
So this is quite frustrating. We are the only ones who didn't anchor out in the bay here because we don't have the engine power to do something if we would get adrift. So we're still over here, and I think because we got over 35 knots of wind now, that the anchor has slipped a little bit, drifted a little bit, because just to set, and the boat is too close to the shore, like it's bouncing already against it with the big fenders. So I need to pull the anchor chain a little tighter, but you can't pull against 35 knots of wind. So the plan is now to start the starboard engine to go a little bit in the direction of the anchor and then tighten up the chain. We'll see if it works. I can't film it because I need both my hands and feet. I don't know if you can see it, but there's hail coming down. Well, yesterday it was 30 degrees Celsius and that was not minus, that was above zero. Not good, not good, not good. This is not going well.
So the sea starts here. There's a lot of water coming over the boulevard.
En hoe gaat het?
Ja, hij draait nog steeds en hij ligt wel recht, maar verder zie je niet veel.
Nee, je vreest een beetje voor de vinders, hè?
Nou, op die webcam lijkt het alsof de water zo hoog staat dat het gewoon aan de kade staat. En ik zie die grote ronde venders, ik denk die grote ronde venders te zien op de webcam.
Ja, ik zag de golf over de boulevard komen. Ik zal blij zijn als het dag is. Nou ja, dat weet ik ook niet.
Nee,
We weten niet wat we gaan zien dan. Ja.
Ja, ze schijnen in elk geval in dit hotel goed op bij te hebben.
Wat een nacht.
Maar hij drijft nog steeds.
Wij zitten hier warm en droog. Nou, het droogt niet helemaal, want het kraan lekt.
Liters van kop.
Dus Wim heeft al gedwijld. En ik mag niet van hem op de tegeltjes lopen, want het is glad.
Ja, met je adem.
Well, this is how high the water is over here now. This is the sea.
So this is what the eye of a storm looks and feels like. It's totally quiet, absolutely no wind.
But the coastline can't even go out in this. I mean, we can't even see where we're in from here.
This is not good. I just saw that one of those bulbs has come off. I hope you can see it. See? It's gone. So I'm back in the boat after 2 nights in the hotel, and Anja's going to the other side with an Australian woman to the marina where a lot of damage is done and where their boat is luckily still floating. I've been to the other side with a dinghy to check on her husband and see how everybody's doing.
But it hasn't gone through the hull, so
Thank God for those tyres.
that's what everyone said. Tyres saved it. And the other one's, I don't know where the other one is.
The other one is gone.
Somewhere.
See that solar panel? It's still there on that
We were
boat.
really worried that
We
that
were
was going to
really
come
worried
off.
that-
I'm just so glad you were off the boat because you'd have been screaming and crying the
I
road.
would have been absolutely uncontrollable. He looks like a sailor now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks. And repeat that you next time go with your wife.
Yes, this is.
Yeah, I might go with Diane next time in the hotel.
Got that on film?
I was saying so many prayers when I was here jamming these fenders in.
And-
I was just crouched down here like this. So I'm just drying the inside out and it's dried out. There's a little bit of water in the hole, but other than that,
But that can all be fixed as long as internally the structure is
It's okay.
strong.
Yeah, yeah.
Should we go inside then?
Tell again about the tablecloths.
Okay. So we get on the boat and he's making himself some breakfast and he's got a little tablecloth on there.
Always a gentleman. Huh?
Yay!
So basically the wind was coming this way and the boat was lifting up about a metre and a half and then slamming us against the wall, and all you could hear was the boat just smacking against those tyres and the whole boat just creaking, and then it would come down and then it would come. So every 5-10 seconds it was a constant banging. The boat was jerking everywhere because we've got all the lines tied up at the stern and the bow, and it was just pulling and jerking. It was just so yeah, it was a very scary moment, but and it didn't stop. It just kept. It was relentless.
How did you get up and down to get to the water and check and
You
do
just have to
stuff?
sit down and just go down step by step. You
Yeah.
just couldn't. You couldn't walk anywhere in here. It was because the rain and the wind was coming in horizontally. It came in through the gaps in the windows and the floor, and it run down through the track and down behind there, and it just went straight into the bilge and into the carpet.
So the bilges were continuously
Bilge
going
was running constantly, but it was keeping up. I thought it had a hole in the side
of the
of the
boat.
hole, but it didn't. So the boat lifted up, it came slamming down, and all the water just shot through there, hit the ceiling, and covered me. It was all black. I think it's cleaned the pipework out.
Gee, I'm amazed, aren't you?
Yeah.
So lucky.
Yeah.
We are. I couldn't have done it. I could not have done this.
And up until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock last night, it was still. I was thinking, God, give us a break. When's this going to stop? And boats coming in the dark through it all, trying to get in. It was just crazy. People trying to get in and get tied off.
How many boats are sunk?
7 that I've seen, and 2 have blown over that were on hard standing. Countless damage to hulls where they've all done same as us. Some really damaged ones over there. Sails ripped. I really wrapped all of our sails up with rope really tight, put straps around them because I knew if the wind had got in one end of the sail bag, it would rip that out, and then we then got the sail up, and we would be, with that wind coming this way, we would definitely have been gone then.
Yeah.
But
I
you're
think
right.
we did all the prep we could have done. We did as much as we could.
We did a
didn't
lot
we?
of prep, and I think it definitely, looking at it now,
Yeah.
well, we got some damage. It definitely paid off to
Yeah.
have. I spread all the load out on every single cleat on this boat, and I doubled them as well. I'm trying to put springs on.
And
and it
the
was-
hose around where the ropes would be rubbing on the dock
Yeah.
bollards.
And only one snapped. Loads of people were saying this morning that, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their lines were snapped.
And the dinghy's still on.
Can't believe the dinghy didn't even move.
Didn't
I
move.
thought we were going to
You
lose that.
strapped it down so well though. Wow.
I believe it's still there. I thought that was the next thing to go, because it was right in the firing line for it.
I love you.
So I'm back at the boat. This is the cupboard that has been hit. I already got the seawater out. I filled it up with fresh water to clean it up. So I'm gonna pump this out. There's some rainwater over there in that bilge, because I guess I left the hatch open a few millimeters. It's not that bad. It went to the bilge and that's okay. It's just fresh water. So actually, except for the earlier mentioned damage, quite light damage, we're okay. Everything is dry except for some rainwater. I forgot to seal the door before we left. Again, fresh water, no problem. Just a few little jobs to do and then we're back to normal. Other people are less fortunate.
So the Willie is still okay, but the finger is not.
Everything good.
Unbelievable, man. I heard when the eye of the storm was here that you went to the hospital, then came back and keep on doing. Crazy man.
My brother did most of the things, Shit happens.
But is your whole finger off or part of your finger?
Half of the index.
Oh yeah. How come? What did you do?
The bollard.
So in between the boat and the rope.
That must have hurt.
It's okay. Shit happens.
So what happened with that, Captain?
What happened with that? What happened with that is that very strong winds from northwest came, and these bad boys couldn't handle them. They just snapped up in a matter of a second. I was going this way, come back, and I saw the boat from alongside moored from the aft. I saw it going.
Whoa.
All we had to do is climb onto the boat and restart the engines. So we have been with Anasis about 10 hours, forward, stop, forward, stop, forward, stop. So the ropes could be always with a bit of tense, but not too much. Wow. Crazy day, crazy day. Remember what I told you, but that if what they say happens, it would be bad. But we haven't never in the past experienced such thing on Kefalonia. Never. That was one of a kind, and this is the kind of weather that we, the captains of merchant boats, have experienced in North Atlantic, North Pacific, like that. Never before. So all of these boats, they were not prepared. We were not prepared. It was so weird because as the day was passing by, the cyclone was moving weird. It was going towards Patra, then come back. Then it was very, very weird. This boat over there that is sunk, the other one in the corner, that happened during the noontime with a strong northwest winds. Anyway, we survived. We are uninjured, we are unharmed, and the boat is floating.
It's most important, huh?
Yeah.
So I just helped a French guy with retrieving his second anchor, which he left in the bay when they fled to the other side onto the rocks, hole in the bottom, and it just went down. We only can see the mast sticking out of the water. So they're trying to redo the slings, get it straight up, because it was an angle of 45 degrees in the water. So they pumped as much water out as they could. So now they're adjusting the slings to lift it straight up. The first time they tried it, it directly started to sink again. So I guess the hole is quite big. and there's more people that just lost their boat. It's sad. It was like a crisis center in the hotel. People crying and people phoning. Lots of relief when they actually got in contact with them and they were okay. It's quite an experience. Interesting, sad, and a lot of other emotions. We're okay, you know, what happens happens, and I don't want to sound fatalistic, but in the end God has the last word, and if we would have lost the boat, life would have gone on just in another way. You know, you can't make life. Life is life, and sometimes it sucks, sometimes it has peaks. It is what it is. You will have to deal with it, you know, and that's okay.